TruthSeekah and/or its affiliates are not responsible for any strange phenomena that may occur during or after listening to this podcast, which may include the following: heightened senses of awareness, psychic abilities, UFO sightings, alien contact, time loss, out-of-body experiences, ringing in the ears, ESP, lucid dreaming, increased synchronicities, astral projection, telepathy, stronger intuition, levitation, miraculous healings, and/or remote viewing. Please be advised to listen at your own discretion.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the TruthSeekah Podcast.
Gargoyles! Psychics! Everything's ungodly! Dark savage!
Streaming live at TruthSeekah.com.
She's not a Christian!
Give it up, y'all.
Your portal to the paranormal, esoteric, and all things spiritual.
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff!
And now, your host, TruthSeekah.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the TruthSeekah Podcast. I'm your host, TruthSeekah, and today we're going to be talking about spirituality, spiritual awakening, and mindfulness. How once you're awake, how do you stay awake? How do you stay woke? How do you not go back to sleep? So we're going to be talking about some of these things and some practical things that we can do. We're going to be talking to my friend Anthony Guilbert. We'll have him on here shortly. I hope I said that right. But I want to, before we go any further, I want to thank all the people who enable me to do this, enable me to do full-time podcasting and music and art and everything that I bring to the table. Everybody who's supporting my work over at Patreon. Thank you, everyone who's been supporting over the months there. If you would like to support my work, head on over to patreon.com/TruthSeekah. For any level of giving, you get access to my entire discography, which is 10 plus albums. You get extra features and just cool stuff that we put out over there. Also get access to the School of the Mystics. Every Thursday night, we do this online school training, and we just go through courses together. It's kind of the community aspect to what we're building here. So if you want to take it to the next level, if you're looking to build with some people and talk to somebody who's been through similar experiences and situations, make sure that you join us over there every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. You get access to that by becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month. Thank you guys who have been supporting my work. Give a shout out to the newest patrons we had. Someone just signed up a while ago. Shout out to Classic Cosmopolitan. Thank you for joining, coming on, and supporting the work. And Emery Marie Diaz. Thank you guys for coming on, and your support means the world to me. Thank you so much. There's some new stuff over there. You get access to all the new music that I'm working on. Every time that I'm done with a song, I go ahead and upload it. And we just put up a new song the other day featuring myself, Young Bro, SA115, and Justin Caldwell. It's a song called Praise, and it's kind of a song of gratitude back to God, singing praises to God. So took me a while to write that song just because it was kind of too easy, kind of like easy to write. So it was harder for me to do it. And I've got a lot of songs like that in my past, and I just didn't want to recreate something. So it took me a long time to get that one out, but that one is finally uploaded over there. We got some more work that we're going to be putting out as well. But yeah, the new album Seer, 333, Spiritual Alchemy, Awaken the Fire, all of that work is available at Patreon. Thank you guys for your support. Without further ado, Anthony Gobert. Welcome, my brother.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, man. Good to have you on. Did I say your name right?
Gobert. Yep.
Gobert. Awesome. Where are you from, man?
Originally Long Island, New York.
New York. Okay. Sounds French. Is it French?
Last name is French. My background would be is just kind of mixed. It's debatable, but the best I can tell, talking and digging through my family, is primarily Italian, Spanish heritage, a little Native American and Arab thrown in on the back end.
Yep. Sounds about right. Just a little bit of everything. I'm down here in the South, and I'm originally from New Orleans. So, for some reason, Gobert sounds a lot like Bear, which is it's a common name down here as well. There's a lot of French down here, so see that connection. Man, welcome to the show. Excited to talk to you about your story, your work, what you bring to the table. You're a writer. You have a lot of, I don't know if we can call them spiritual practices. I think it's some background in martial arts, which tends to be spiritual practice of training the body, training the mind, body and mind as one. Taoism, Zen Buddhism, and or a big one for me, which is Qigong, which is some things you're trained in as well. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. But if you want to go ahead and kind of give a quick background for people who may have not have heard of your work and what you bring to the table, if you want to go ahead and do that,
sure.
That'd be awesome.
So, it's kind of interesting you bring it up. Is in my generation, the Gen Xers and the tail end of the baby boomers, we didn't really have access to the mind-body world that exists today. When we were coming up, back on Long Island in the 70s, all there was martial arts. Nobody had heard of Qigong. Nobody was really serious about meditation the way they are now. It was a very different world. So yeah, my entrance into this was through judo and aikido. Judo through my stepdad, who had studied with the Grand Master here in the U.S. and then taught judo in Japan after the war. I moved into aikido when I got to the end of judo and was looking for something new. And I tried a few different martial arts, and that was the one that hit me. And I did that for about 6 years. Black belted in that as well. And right before that, I got injured, and the injury to my back and primarily lower back from a car accident and my right arm was such that it led me into studying Tai Chi as a practice to keep moving and stay healthy while my body healed. At the same time, I couldn't go back to judo or aikido because I couldn't get thrown on the ground the way I used to. This body wasn't going to take it. So I got very interested in that, and through Tai Chi, originally Yang form, I've also studied the Wu form. I got into Qigong. I studied with various teachers in Qigong. Master Chen, who's up at Tao House. I'll give a shout out to Tao House, which was an actual Taoist monastery here, monastery or temple here in the U.S. up in Estes Park, Colorado. Another New Yorker. Shout out to Jim McRitchie, who is the founder of the National Qigong Association, who was my mentor for quite a few years, and my current teacher, Roger Yonka, who heads the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi in California. Those would be my primary teachers. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to study with two of the great American Qigong teachers. I know that phrase may get me into trouble, so respect everybody I didn't mention. And from there, my life has been studying Zen, Buddhism, and Taoism. Zen with the Mountains and Stream Order in New York, and then Taoism, primarily intellectually studying Taoism. I don't follow the Taoist religion. I look at Taoism from a philosophical standpoint, and really consider it in the modern context. How do these things work and fit into our daily lives, and where are these expressions? Taoism is based on observation. Every Taoist master that wrote the foundational texts observed the world and then interpreted it for people. That's where you get ideas like yin and yang. It's through observation. Right now, my work is to take those old ideas and see, can we still see them in culture, particularly in American culture? Are they still valid? If they are still valid, have they found or expressed anything new to us over time, as culture grows and changes?
Yeah.
So that's the work I'm doing now. And along the way, a bunch of other spiritual practices. I've been lucky enough to have great spiritual friends, people who I may not have followed as a teacher, but we learned through friendship.
Oh, yeah. those people come in handy, man, because we need to roll questions and ideas off of one another, and to have people kind of there with you, whether you say they're not really a teacher, but essentially everything is a teacher, right? So those people who are coming up with you, and you see the mistakes that they're making or the things that they're doing right, and we kind of learn from everything in our situation, especially our friends who are on this similar path with us, man. It could be hard, talking about spiritual awakening. I just shared out a meme on Instagram, and you've probably seen it. It's a popular one, but it's like this lady, it says what people think spiritual awakening is, and it's this woman meditating on a mountain, real beautiful, but it's what spiritual awakening really looks like, and it's this lady freaking out at the bottom, and somebody help me, am I going crazy, right? And so I think we need examples. There's not a lot of respected teachers anymore, and if they are, they're only good at like this one or two things. It's like they're not going to have it all figured out. They're really good at what they teach and what they believe and what they can impart, but you're going to have to go find someone else if you want to learn a deeper mystery about whatever it is that has to deal with spirituality. Everything's going to be biased, and I think that like we learn from all of these teachers and all of these people and experiences, and we kind of come up with our own ideas about what life is, spirituality, expression, how the universe, the world, the mind works, and how we can use it for our benefit and to benefit those around us, which is the beautiful thing about spirituality. So we're talking about spiritual awakening. What was your initiation into spiritual awakening? Was it just something that was always there through the martial arts practices, or did something happen that got you into it?
I had it before the martial arts practice. I think the martial arts was a way. I mean, growing up, I was a short, fat kid who got picked on. That's why I was drawn to the martial arts. I remember watching Billy Jack in the movie theater and going, yeah, I'm not taking shit anymore. So that was my original, entrance in. But, I think I want to say that my spiritual awakening as a young man probably came when I was, I want to say 5 or 6, and I started reading a copy of Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet that my mother had on her bookshelf, which was very popular in that, early late 60s. And my mother fostered a lot of that in me, though, parents being what they are, we never see eye to eye on everything. My mom was very open to me experiencing new things. So, going into the martial arts wasn't a big jump. The fact that my stepdad was a martial artist helped my entrance into that. But my stepdad was very steeped in Japanese culture, so it was also meditation. It was also an appreciation for abakan, flower arranging, haiku. I kind of adopted that whole Japanese warrior attitude as a young man. I would say an adult awakening into the spiritual life came. There was I don't know if you ever get the chance to experience this. It's a form of Zen meditation called Sui Zen, and it's music played on a Japanese shakuhachi flute. And the music is specific to, it's Buddhist music played and interpreted, like 2,500-year-old music played on this bamboo flute. And the shakuhachi players will, the whole idea is to integrate your senses into the environment. Yeah. So I'd been doing this just for enjoyment on Sunday mornings back in my early 20s, my mid 20s. And it was one morning where I was listening to the local shakuhachi player on Long Island. We were at the John P. Hume Strolling Gardens, which is a Japanese garden that Ambassador Hume had created on Long Island after he retired. And we, the whole group of us had a similar experience where we were all sitting there, was getting into the music and meditating. And at one point, I could say, I felt a bird. So you can imagine a tea house, and I'm sitting in the doorway of the tea house, and the sun is coming through the garden onto my back, and I could feel the warmth on my back. And the bird's wing passed through that beam of light, and I could feel the entire expanse of the wing imprinted on my back. And I just slipped into the garden. Like I just disappeared from myself and became everything in the garden, and then everything beyond the garden, and then nothing till the music stopped. And I kind of returned. That was when I really started taking things seriously. That experience of oneness or boundlessness, that took me, and I gotta say, it took me 10 years to actually figure that experience out. I worked for a long time, studied a lot of different teachings, started digging deeper, but that was the moment where, for me, things opened up, and it all became not abstract in a book, something my teacher told me, but real and experiential.
Yeah. That's what the real encounter is about. We talked about it last night on my friend's podcast. The fact that, like, even come out of Christianity, it was always like, take my word for it. This is my story, how I found God. You need to believe my story. I beckon you to come and say yes. But the real side of having an encounter with God for yourself, and I think that's really what even early Christianity was, is to come and have this practice. I really look at the original Christianity as a spiritual practice that looked like something from the East versus what we have in the West now, but of something where you can actually encounter that spirit, the Holy Spirit, and encounter God for yourself. And it's not by walking in a belief in someone else's experience or revelation of God or the divine, but your own encounter, that everyone can have that for themselves. Because I think that you could be talked out of belief. I think you could be talked out of faith, but knowing God, or knowing that divine essence of what it is, what it feels like, how it's been with you, where it's taking you, all of that, I don't think anyone can take that from you. That's that experience, man, that can be found through every religion, can be found through a lot of different spiritual practices, and I think it comes back down to, as far as wanting to recreate that experience. I mean, a lot of people fall in the trouble there, because we have an encounter with the divine, and then we want to recreate it, and then we get sucked into a church or a religion or a denomination or something, and you're taught all these rules and bylaws that have nothing to do with that experience that you encountered. And so it could be kind of tricky there, but having that encounter for yourself is where it's at.
Whenever I teach Qigong, I teach it with that idea that, the practice, yes, it will heal certain illnesses. Yes, it will make you healthier. Yes, it will do all these things. But what was originally supposed to do? It was supposed to fine tune your senses to that experience. We forget that, Qigong came out of Taoism, and all of Taoism was about experiencing the world. It was about learning from the deeper experiences that were around us. And I agree with you. I think, and maybe we can arc this back to the comment you made earlier about teachers. A person comes to study with me, learn what I am giving you as a tool, and then go on your way. I have 2 or 3 students that have stayed with me over the years because I pushed the rest of them out. You need to go and experience new things. And I think so many teachers, because they have a product line, and the product line keeps them employed. And yes, like the people who support you for your podcast, you're giving them something, and they're supporting you so that you can keep giving. But at some point, and I'm not saying this about you, but at some point for mind-body teachers and for spiritual teachers, it becomes the product line and pushing the product line. And then they come with these programs of behavior and these practices that you have to do. I remember a guy from Falun Gong, and I have deep respect for what they've done in China, but the guy actually told me if I started practicing Falun Gong, which is a form of Qigong practice, that if I stopped, I would die.
Oh, wow.
So talk about the hard sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put that on a pack of cigarettes and see what happens. So I think a lot of this comes down to, you have that authentic experience. You cultivate an awareness that you've had it, you develop wisdom from it, and then you create something from that wisdom, and you continue your life and don't look for the next experience. You have to, it'll come to you. It'll come to you when you are in line with the world. The Taoists would say, when you are moving with the Tao, it'll come to you. When you are in line, in step, perfectly moving with it, and the whole flow is behind you. And that's where it connects with that idea of like peak experience that the psychologists talk about. But I feel, I tell all my students, just as what you're saying is truth. Do not learn just one thing, learn many things.
Yeah.
Follow, Walt Whitman said it best. I'll harken back to my writing. Whitman said, There's two quotes. I have Whitman and then John Hall Wheelock. Whitman said, this on let's remember this way. It was basically accept what doesn't offend your soul. And I'm paraphrasing that. It's from a Song of Myself, if anyone wants to look it up, near the tail end of the poem. Right? Accept what doesn't offend your soul. What a great saying. Learn what you have to learn as long as it's truth if it doesn't offend your soul. John Hall Wheelock said young writers were like boys in an apple orchard. They stole what they had a taste for and brought it home. And I feel spiritual seekers are the same way. We steal what we have a taste for and we carry it with us. Within my soul, there are words spoken by Gustavo Raven Silva, who was a Mapuche medicine man, an artist I'd met back in the 80s. Who I haven't seen in 20 years. He's down in Ecuador now. My first martial arts teacher. All these words, that you take what's important. And sometimes you won't know that things are important. It'll resonate with you and you don't understand why, but hold on to it because time will help it unfold.
Yeah, whenever it's supposed to come up, it'll come up, and it's an inward knowing. And then at times, like there's with that awakening, there's things that spiritually, intuitively, and then you read it in a book. Yes. But like you've already knew that concept was true, and then you read it, whether it's in the Bible or any other type of holy book or whatever, and you're like, man, I always knew that was true. I knew that we can do that. I knew that the angels were watching over us or communicating with us or whatever the case is. And it's so weird to have that inner knowing and then the deja vu. They're like, man, I already knew this, and it's cool that I have someone else who believes it for one thing, and I have proof that at one point, however old the text is, someone believed in something very similar that was imparted to me through spirituality or just through mindfulness, which is a good thing to talk about. Mindfulness, and let me see if this is what you mean by it. But it's like once you have that awakening or you have that heightened state of consciousness, mindfulness is how we stay in it, because it's easy to be pulled out of it or to forget about it or to go or to kind of live your life like, some people even feel like that that happened to another person. Like you can have that encounter of being one with all creation that you felt in that garden, and then 6 months later, 2 days later, you can feel like, man, where am I? You know what I'm saying? And like that never happened. But I think mindfulness for me is just always remembering that any moment you can close your eyes, you can take that deep breath in, and you can go back to that garden, and you can go back to that encounter. That breath is connected there. That's what it means to me. What does mindfulness mean for you?
Well, I think mindfulness is, again, it's one of those words that we've created over the last 20 years. Mindfulness practice, things like meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, those practices are everything that leads you up to a moment of awakening and everything that holds you there afterwards. So you figure if you look at it just from a form of stress, right? I mean, God, our lives are so stressful now, So how do you mitigate the stress to get back to a simpler life? Clearly, there are teachings you can use. Simplicity, great teaching. It's actually a form of mindfulness in itself, to parse out of your life all the unnecessary things, to get back to what is essential. Great practice. But we also need what some Taoist scholars refer to Qigong as bio-spirituality, or bio-spiritual. The idea that we need physical practices like meditation and other movement practices that still our minds, reduce stress, focus our understanding, so that when those moments come, we can key into them as opposed to being drawn aside. I've seen, in fact, I wrote about this in my new book, not that I want to hawk the book, but it just came to mind because I was looking it over a couple of days ago. There was a scene, I was traveling back from Florida back in 2010 on my way back to Colorado, and I was passing through Alabama, and a tornado had just come through. And like, I'd never been in a tornado before. Like, what, talk about a stressful moment. So I got off the road and I, got into a shelter, and afterwards I came back out, and luckily my car wasn't one of the ones that was hit. but people came running out, in that moment afterwards, and they were all very tuned into what needed to happen. There was an overturned trailer home, so people ran in to help pull this kid out, and they took this kid over to a car, and then they ran to help these other people, and people were just helping each other. And that was a very mindful moment for me, because not only was I in the position where it was this coming out of needing to be mindful for survival, but then also the next step is you need to be mindful of the people around you and what help they need. It's one thing to be in the flow, but it's also part of that is being what is necessary after that. So I think I look at mindfulness like that. Like it prepares you for those moments when you absolutely need to be focused, but then it is also the lifestyle that you lead afterwards. Mm-hmm. Are you concerned about others? Are you aware?
It becomes practical, right?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be practical.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, and it's not that I am, I'm not a big proponent of the psychedelic movement. I understand. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that I've never done anything. I'm not Bill Clinton, but so much of that is, people seek that experience, and you see this also too in a lot of the New Age practices, where people seek this encounter experience, and they want to keep coming back to it, keep coming back to it, keep coming back to it, and they forget that the rest of the world exists, away from it. You have the encounter experience, but then what about your friend who hurt themselves and needs help, or the family down the block who's having a difficult time and could use a casserole if you brought it over, or any of those things that are the day-to-day experiences of each other that are also, we forget, are also spiritual experiences.
Yeah, I think all of those things are essentially an escape. And we need escapes, right? Escapes aren't bad. Sometimes you need to get away. I think, I think in the scriptures, like King David, when he would get stressed out, he'd run to a cave, he'd get away, get by himself, and get with God and hide up under the shadow of the Almighty with his Father. The psychedelic experience can definitely be that. I'm at the point now. I love those encounters. I love those experiences. All the supernatural, otherworldly, whether it's psychedelics, whether it's deep states of meditation and whatever angelic encounter, whatever it is, so much stuff that I can't even explain. I would feel like a spoiled brat to keep going back and begging for more. You know what I'm saying? Of any of those encounters, there's been, since my awakening or whatever, which was, I say my awakening, my whole life, man. There's people who exist in their adult lives and have never touched anything of the divine. They don't believe in it. It's never, and I've had so many, even as a little kid, man, like you're saying, 5 years old, of being mindful and having this spiritual awakening and carrying it with you throughout your life. But to keep wanting to go back, people get addicted, man. They get addicted to the euphoria, which is just like a drug. People get addicted to the escape and euphoria from drugs. Same thing with spiritual encounters. But hopefully through spiritual encounter, or maybe through a religion that's, that can help them. Hopefully they get addicted to something that's helping them. But at the end of the day, it's never a means to an end. It's never the end all. Like, this is what we do. This is all we do. Like, when we go into those realms, whether it's through the psychedelic experience, which I've only had a couple, but they've been monumental. Like, I've got the information. It's really good, like really, really, really good. And I've come out and I knew it's going to take months to decipher this information and then to bring it into my reality. I seen the vision that I want for myself. It's always been there, but that helped me to go in and get it. And the same thing with meditation. You kind of go and you get this information, and through alchemy, through shamanism, we're able to pull it out and bring it into the now, to manifest it and to see physical change. That's my take on it. I think that's the healthy take, to be able to go in, pull stuff out, see what I need to do. But I would have friends who would be on that journey with me. Next weekend, man, I'm doing it again. Like, what? Next weekend? Yeah. We must not have had the same experience. We couldn't have. There's no way you can want to go back in that deep next weekend and have fun. And, just to let you know that person went back next weekend and had a bad encounter, like really bad, crying and thinking he was going to die and that kind of stuff. Man, you have to respect that stuff, and it's never a means to an end.
And I think you're absolutely right. The respect is the big word there. We so often forget these are not products. This is not PlayStation. This is an ancient tradition that deserves our respect. And no, you have to. I have
demands respect.
Demands.
Demands,
like
definitely. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, because I've had the same experience as you have, where you come out of this and it was white knuckled and by the skin of your teeth, and you go, holy shit, it's going to take me a long time to work this out.
Yep.
And then that's the process. That's the next step. It's right there. It's you don't have to ask anybody about it. Work it out.
Yeah.
And that's what I find, that people don't do that. They're not aware of the experience. And this is true for Qigong and meditation as well. You can have deep, meaningful experiences of self or non-self or non-duality, whatever you want to call it. You can have these deep experiences, but then you've got to let it sit. You got to let it, don't go back to the meditation the next day going, okay, I'm going to do this again. You don't want to live in that state. You can't process the world in that state.
Yeah.
It's a teacher, but then you got to go home and do the homework.
Yep. Yep. It's like that for I mean, I think it applies for everything, especially with spirituality or religion. I've seen that in the churches, and the churches I come out of were like charismatic churches where they practice laying on the hands and falling out and running around the church, and this monumental encounter with the divine, but they want it every time they go, and they're living off of that experience. So much so that if that experience doesn't happen, I've heard people say, well, God didn't show up, or God wasn't here, or we missed God. These weird phrases that were, people agree to it in church. God didn't show up? Like, really? Like, we're here and God didn't show up, or we missed God because we didn't do some weird, crazy song and dance and have this and like muster up this encounter. And there's so many people living off of those encounters, and it's the same with the psychedelics. It's the same with meditation, Qigong, in churches every Sunday, Monday night, Wednesday, Sunday morning, Sunday night. They're addicted to church. Like that's what they do. And but I think that the universe or God is the best teacher. Will use that and eventually wean you off of that. Like there's no way you can. That's eventually gonna dry up. Eventually, everybody, it may take you a year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long it's going to take, but eventually you have to face reality and say, what am I doing? Like, what are we doing here? Just dancing and shaking and falling out or whatever the case is. We have to, impact the world. We have people around us who are literally struggling. And if I can't find the inspiration from these encounters to go back and like, not in theory, change the world, but literally go out there and have something tangible for my friends that's going to help them and people who need my help. But I'm so caught up in going into this other realm. And they would say in churches all the time, they say you're so spiritual minded that you're no earthly good. But we're supposed to be so spiritually minded that we're earthly incredible, man,
Yep. I think one of the basic alchemy that I follow when I teach Qigong is simply, ultimately, it's you alone in the room with your practice. That's the ultimate experience. It's you by yourself, not with the teacher, but you alone with your practice. Then it is the wisdom you gain from that, and ultimately what you create with that wisdom. I think that simple form of just practice, reflection, creation. If you take that and you apply it to any spiritual practice, any spiritual tradition, you can serve the world. And believe me, we need people serving the world right now. The world is off its hook.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think so many people, this is one of the issues with transcendence for me, this idea that especially among my generation and the boomers, is this idea that and it's actually one of the hardcore interpretations of Taoism, what they call Wu Wei, is this idea of non-action, that you should just accept what is natural. Death is natural, so accept that our society may die. It's very and Russell Kirkland writes great about this, and I hate him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I shouldn't say it, but I don't like the man because of his approach.
Yeah. But
it is part of the interpretation of Taoism that I don't. It's one of the things I just don't resonate with, because I believe that we are all part of nature, and nature is in a constant flux between creation and destruction. And if we start correcting the mistakes that we've made, we're part of the creation of the world, you know. At the same time, we can be destructive, and at some point, you know, it'll become unhealthy for us. So I think I try to promote, at least, you know, when I call myself a mind-body advocate, I try to promote mind-body culture, because I believe that mind-body culture is what's important for, you know, world culture, for human culture, that we are more aware, that we are healthier, that we deal with less stress, that we are more in possession of ourselves and have less things in the world possessing us. Because, I mean, I don't think we need to go back to classical demons anymore. We got an iPhone. It's a form of possession. You know? The fact that I get tweets in the middle of class when I'm trying to teach is a form of possession. And it's the urge. It's the urge to feel like I've got to stop and answer somebody.
Yeah, in mid-conversation with someone else or at the dinner table. I've seen people, man, that are really bad about it.
Now, who needs a demon when you got that damn thing? So I think people need to, through mindfulness practices, whatever way you approach it, whether you approach it from a traditional Christian standpoint or you come at it from the East, or you do it from a non-denominational standpoint. And the more of those practices are growing out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do these things to be present in this world, because otherwise this world is moving so fast and so erratically that it can take you and just keep you disconnected and pushed along for, you know, without any sense of consciousness. And I've seen so many people do this.
Yep. Autopilot. What I like to call it. Days, months, weeks have gone by, and you're just in that every day. This is what I do. I get up, I make breakfast, I go to work, I come home, I'm tired, exhausted, get up and do the same thing. Eventually, like, you have to do something. You have to turn that autopilot off because you're on default. And it's like, look, I want to create something. I have dreams and visions, and they're just passing by. So being mindful is understanding that I have to do something practical. Like, I have to do something today that I want to manifest tomorrow. Planting a seed, cultivating it, watering it, and hoping that it grows, and speaking to it, like all kinds of things that you can do. But being mindful is being conscious and aware of keeping it in your vision and not forgetting about it. I mean, one of the things that kind of hinders a lot of creative people, I found for me, and definitely like a lot of my friends who got a lot of great ideas. They want to do this, they want to do that, and they'll get in something, they'll start it. Some of them will do it for a week. And then after that week, it gets old and they got this other idea. Oh man, check this out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start cultivating this and selling this, and I want to do this. And then a week later, they're on to something else. They've already forgot the first thing. The second thing is gone, and they got a new idea. But it's about consistency and dedication and being mindful. Wait, because those ideas and thoughts come in. They're all good ideas. Write them down. You don't have to like be taken away. You only have 24 hours in a day. Like, you only have so much time to create something, to birth something into this existence that doesn't exist. And you have to protect it. You have to be mindful, man. And that it goes along with consistency for me. Once I started doing it, you asked me how long I've been doing this podcast. I've been doing it off and on for years, but within the last year, I've been consistent. There's so many other things, opportunities. People want me to join them. People want me to do this, travel here, start a band. All of it would be awesome. I would love to do it all. The reality is I can't do it all. I have to pick. What am I going to give my attention to? What am I going to spend my time on? And once you do that, hard work pays off with anything. At the end of the day, consistency, repetition reduces resistance. Just keep on and on at it, and you can build whatever you want, but not being pulled out of that moment or off of that task that you're set on.
This is one of the reasons why that whole movement of The Secret drives me absolutely nuts. There is a point where you can do as much positive thinking and, try to have a certain state of mind that attracts the things that you need to your life. Yes, all of that is great, but at some point you got to roll your damn sleeves up and do the work.
Yeah.
Think of, Yep.
I like to combine it, man, because I really do get a lot of inspiration from the gurus and the spiritual teachers about how to be mindful. You talk about Jung, you talk about Alan Watts and McKenna, some of these type of people who inspire you. But you take that inspiration and you put it to use. And like you're saying, like there's people who are here and they're listening, they're supporting, they like listening to the podcast or whatever the case is. But if they don't learn from the guest, if they don't learn from our experiences, what's working, what's not working, we're open and transparent about it. If they don't learn from that and go out there and do it, then they're doing it wrong. If they're listening just for like entertainment purposes, this is totally not an entertainment podcast. We're kind of giving people the game. Essentially, we're letting them know how the universe works and how we've been successful and what not to do. And you know what I'm saying? Even in this conversation, there's so many gems. And if they're not taking it, applying it to their life, and they're just listening because they're entertained or they like to think about spiritual stuff, that's good too. But you're doing it wrong. Like you have to do, like if you're at that place and you're somewhere where you don't want to be, we even just in this podcast, we've given you so many gems and so many jewels about how to be mindful, different practices you can do to get the vision that you need, and then how to bring the vision out and, you know what I'm saying, bring it into manifestation. Hard work pays off.
Oh, it does. Let me give you one from my mentor, Vince Clemente. I was lucky enough when I was a young writer to find a professor at the local college who really believed in my work and helped usher me along. And this works for me. This absolutely works. So for artists, you can do this. First time I went to Vince's house, he had this little, this is back when computers were, black and white. He had this pile of folders. I said, what's that? He goes, that's all stuff I'm working on. And I'm like, well, you don't do just one thing at a time. He goes, I can't do one thing at a time. He goes, it's impossible. He goes, when you're working on a project, sometimes you hit a dead spot. Well, you have another thing ready to go. In fact, have 5 other things ready to go. So that when your dead spot comes, you can fill it with something else, some other piece of creative work. And what I've learned over the years of doing that is that I may have a recording that I need to do for, say, a digital class, or I'm working on a new, like right now I'm working on putting together notes for the next book. I also have this collection of poems about wine that I've been working on for 5 years. It's all there. And if one thing doesn't jam, I just go right down the list to the next one. If that doesn't jam, I go to the next one. Something will always jam. So I am never at this point in my life sitting around with my thumb up my butt going, I don't really know what to do. I got writer's block.
Yeah.
And worst comes to worst, there's always the kayak out in the garage, which I throw on the roof of the Jeep and drive down. It's like, okay, I can't figure anything out. I'm going to go kayaking.
Yeah.
At least something gets done. Something happens. I can at least go out and get some exercise. And that usually frees my mind up. And I find myself sitting in the middle of the reservoir writing stuff down in a journal.
Yeah. You're 100% right, man. And that's me. I've got folders on my computer of notepads just with half a teaching here, half a teaching this, half of a meditation, whatever the case is. And it's just a whole bunch of little stuff. And and it's hard for me to really focus on that because I'm such a analytical mind that I want to approach it from every aspect. And you're like, hold on, I can't add that here. That's going to have to be something totally different. Because if we're going to introduce that, then this got to be a different book or a different lecture or whatever the case is. And so, but when you're in that place of doing something where your subconscious is free to roam, you're doing something that's repetitive. Most of us do it while we're driving to and from work or something like that. Or we're cutting the grass, or we're jogging, or we're out kayaking. It frees up your mind to be able to receive inspiration to start creating. So if you hit that writer's block, you can actually go out and do that, work out, whatever the case is, and start being inspired. And then you have to pull out your phone. You have to write something down or pull out the notepad. And I've got my phone and my computer. Everything is filled up with notes that are just on and on and on. And it's cool with the technology in a phone because you can actually pull out the speech to text, pull it out and just start writing. I've got long articles that I was just driving, speaking to it, and then have to go back and sit down and edit it. But I've got articles that are really successful because, I was just driving to work and pulled out the phone and started talking, something I was inspired to do versus just letting it come and then slip away,
Yep, I hear you.
What is, let me ask you this, we're coming up close to the end of the show, but what about fasting, man? You got a really nice article on your website about fasting. What does that have to do with spirituality and being mindful? I know there's so many ways we can approach fasting, and the ancients have always done it. Health reasons, you know what I'm saying? I think the health benefits contribute to the spiritual benefits as well. But in your article on the website, what's the big thing for you about fasting?
Like I said, I came to fasting through health, looking for, I had some issues with my gallbladder and I was trying to cleanse it out. So I came to fasting through that avenue. But I've found over time that when I do fast, and if I do it for health reasons, like I'm ate something and I really need to let my system clear out, or if I do it regularly, which I try to do a couple of times a year, there's a point in fasting between day 3 and day 5 where your body is really starting to empty out. And I don't do a hardcore fast. I will take some liquid. If I am fasting while I'm teaching or working, I tend to do juice fasts. So I'll just drink like carrot juice or carrot and spinach juice throughout the day, just to keep nutrients in my system so I can keep functioning. I figure I'm a big guy. I've got enough stored up that I can work off that if I really have to. But when I try to fast right around between day 3 and day 5, there's this clarity that comes that is just so profound. And that's one of those things that can really be addictive. This profound clarity. It's when your body functions start to shut down and they're not happening anymore. The mind wakens up. So much more energy gets to your mind that your body's not using. I've had some great spiritual insights fasting. Again, I think there are a lot of great books on fasting. I mentioned a couple of really good ones. I think I got some links to some free copies of some classic texts on that page of my website. Only thing I'd say to people is be careful. If you've never fasted before, look, if you have, and they're kind of almost these days, you have to give the boilerplate comments. So, if you have medical conditions, talk with your doctor before you fast. That's an absolute 100%. Simply because if you're taking medications and you're fasting, those medications are going to be more in your system. They're going to be less diluted.
Yeah.
It's the same. If you have got any type of mental aberration that you're dealing with, emotional issues, again, talk to a therapist first before you start this, because this will bring shit up for you. I guarantee you, I've dealt with most of my father issues through fasting. Yeah. But after
that's good. That's good though. It's good that it created that that place for you to deal with it though.
So, those things aside, taking care of yourself first is always whatever mindfulness practice you're doing. You have to start off with this idea, this deep belief that you must take care of the self first. That's usually why you're doing the practice. But from there, I would start off with a 3-day fast. I'd start off with a 3-day liquid fast. In other words, cut all food out. Or the simplest way to do it, and this is Muslim belief, is you fast from sunrise to sunset.
Yeah.
You do that. That's like probably the easiest way to go about it. And then you eat only at night, and you try to even then keep what you're eating. You don't just slam a bunch of food out as soon as the sun goes down, but eat moderately. And then next day do the same thing again. That will give you a certain amount of clarity. That will give you a certain amount of health benefits. A straight up 3-day fast with just drinking a little like lemon water throughout the day to stop your stomach from churning a bit because you've never done this before.
Yeah.
Do 3 days and see how it feels, and then wait a couple of months, do 5 days, see how that feels. I think the longest I've done was 21 days, and that was hard. 21 days in modern American culture fasting.
Yeah.
I mean, right around, I gotta be honest, right around day 20, man, you're prone to hallucinations. I saw some crazy stuff in New York one day, just walking around, but it's your body's purifying yourself out. And what you have to remember too is that when you're fasting, you're going to be losing weight. You're going to be burning up whatever body fat you have. Every emotional episode that you've had in your life that produced an extreme emotional reaction, the chemistry of that reaction is sitting in your fat tissue, and you will re-experience it at some level, and you have to be prepared for that. You know, I mean, one of the fasts I did after my grandfather passed away. Oh, it was an amazing, and it was right on the heels of my grandmother passing away, because that happened like a month. Like I fasted in October for 10 days, and then my grandmother passed in November. I was extremely clear for her passing, and felt at ease with it. But through the whole thing, I was experiencing my grandfather, who had passed away 2 years earlier. I was re-experiencing that whole 3-day turmoil. So people have to keep in mind that, you know, your body stores all of your emotions chemically, and that will come up in fasting. And that's an opportunity for you both to re-examine those experiences and also to get closure sometimes.
What would you say about caffeine? Because for those who aren't prepared, being addicted to whether it's sodas or even coffee, like one day without it, and then you're trying to fast, can be very discouraging, because those headaches that come from caffeine withdrawals, it can be very discouraging.
With all fasting, there's a build up to it. You start off in preparation. So you stop eating meat, eat only vegetables, and then you start, you know, so let's take 5 days before a fast. You stop eating meat. Around day 3, you're only eating vegetables. You're cutting out coffee at the same time. So you've got a couple of days before you get into the fast without coffee or really anything. Nicotine, all of that's going to be an issue. I mean, I'm Italian, so I drink coffee I drink espresso like it's going out of style. I mean, really, I've switched over as I've gotten older to decaf. And luckily I found some good decaf that, you know, doesn't make me feel like I'm missing anything. Sometimes it's a taste thing, but I would say going into any fast, definitely it's dropping the meat, going all vegetable, then dropping the caffeines at least 3 days before you get into your fast, and you should be okay. I've never really experienced any hardcore caffeine withdrawal, but then again, I also cleanse myself of it a few times a year where I will just stop. Okay, only because caffeine will
the first day, man, it could be bad. It could be bad. Those headaches.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely weaning yourself off. Just, you know, maybe just, you know, I mean, you just got to wean yourself of just start drinking less and less and less until you're not drinking it for a day or so, and then try the fast. Because like a lot of people are going like, I'm not fasting, man. I had a killer headache. I can't fast. It ain't for me. Well, it wasn't the fast. It was the caffeine withdrawal. So you have to build yourself up to that. There's definitely wisdom in that. I've seen a lot of people.
Great little piece of wisdom that basically is, if your body is hurting, it's telling you something needs attention. So if you stop drinking caffeine and immediately your body gives you a headache, it's your body telling you that your adrenal systems are probably a little messed up and you need to back off the caffeine for a while. It's a good thing. I mean, I love a great cup of espresso. Don't get me wrong. It's a vice. One of the few that I have left, but it's a straight up vice. But a few times a year, I recognize that my system starts to get a little going, and I'm also, you know, coming to the idea I'm middle aged now. I'm not young anymore, so reality there is I should probably be drinking less caffeine and keep my heart healthy. So I do at least 3 times a year stop for a month, no caffeine, just to let my adrenal system get back together, let my heart rest from it. And then when I do go back, it's like, you know, a cup of tea in the morning, and maybe if I'm teaching at night, I'll definitely get an espresso around 3 o'clock. Keeps me going till 9. You know.
Yeah, I was. It was weird for me trying to get used to it, because like my old schedule when I was a truck driver, I had to get up at like 1:30 a.m. I drank coffee. And I could drink coffee throughout the day. I'd use it to stay awake at work. And even I would come home and do a podcast late at night and drink a big cup of coffee. And I was so exhausted, I could go to sleep. Like I could drink the coffee and just go to sleep, just because I was waking up so early and staying up so late and missing so much sleep. Like I was doing that for years. And now that I'm not doing that job anymore, it's different. I'll try to drink that same cup of coffee in the evening, and I'll toss and turn in bed and not be able to get to sleep for anything, man. So yeah.
I started off in the printing industry before I went back to college to become an English teacher. And that industry, you know, you're starting at 5 a.m. in the morning, and everything is rapid fire on deadline. I used to mainline coffee. I would just drink 16-ounce cup of coffee at 6 till like at least to lunchtime, you know. So you got 6 hours there, and I'm banging through a cup of basic 16 ounces every hour. Yeah, that did not do me any favors when I was younger. And it's the same thing. Come 9 o'clock at night, if I wasn't drinking more coffee, I was crashing.
Yep.
Which
good.
would impede anybody's spiritual practice. You know?
Definitely. You're not supposed to be addicted to anything, man, especially when it comes to, like, I definitely enjoy my coffee, but if you're addicted, you know, could you stop? You know what I'm saying? And that's the part of the thing. So by being mindful, man, and not letting anything control you, using everything for its benefits, and you know what I'm saying, what it can pretty much be used to help you. But yeah, coffee's a big thing. And if you're gonna be fasting, just take that advice. It still happens to me, but no, I've experienced some really, really cool breakthrough through fasting, and big opportunities that always seem to happen after I get done with the fast. Something happens. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, like, it says certain demons can only be cast out through prayer and fasting, and it's debatable, like that verse isn't in all Bibles. They take that out, but I think that's a big one. If they were saying there were certain types of unclean spirits, or whatever we want to say, you know, the ancients may have even believed that those were toxins in your body, and like different types of parasites in your body and things, you know, that only come out through fasting. Like, isn't that legit though? Like, if you have to clean yourself out of the toxins that are only going to come out through fasting, they're going to live in you. And I've heard stories. I haven't experienced this, but they say that, you know, parasites will come out of you when you're fasting. You know, you're in that 7-day fast or whatever. I've heard stories from friends of mine who have told me about it.
I'll tell you this, one of the things I realized early on when I first fasted, everybody's got floaters in their eyes. They look around, and you get once in a while, you get a piece of material that flows past your optic nerve. As I've fasted throughout the years, I've lost those. And I had a friend of mine turn around and say, well, you know, there's a good chance that those are parasites that work their way out. Just the idea of that is a little freaky, you know, idea of parasites in your eyes.
It is pretty, you know, it's pretty freaky.
But I think over time, you know, well, we forget, you know, we have so much bacteria in our systems that is beneficial. We also have things that aren't beneficial that have to work their way out. So yeah, I think, you know, a good hardcore part of any mindfulness practice is going to be the things that we do for ourselves. I mean, my family is not vegetarian. I struggle with it because I cook for them. And, you know, so we lean more towards vegetarianism than we don't. If it was up to me, I'd be straight up vegan, but, you know, just because it's healthier. But we need to do these things in terms of a mindfulness practice, to eat what is best, what is clean, what you put into yourself really sets the ground for who you are. Yeah. You're not going to be a guru if you're sucking down Coke. You know?
I know, right?
You know? It's so it's difficult. It is difficult in our world to really seek a spiritual practice without considering, seek spirituality without considering dedication to a practice, dedication to a lifestyle, you know, and it pays off. I mean, I got to say, you know, right now, you know, despite the fact that I'm getting a little older and maybe things take a little bit time to heal, like, you know, slower than they used to. This is the best I've ever felt in my life. Yeah, so much so that I'm not scared of 60 or 70 or 80. I'm not scared of those things like a lot of my friends are. Right now, this is the best version I've ever been. Because, I mean, I'm going on 25, 30 years of practice, of physical, culture, you know, lifestyle changes, physical practices, mental practices, and ultimately, you know, spiritual lifestyle as opposed to spiritual practice. That's the ultimate transition, to go from practice to full-on lifestyle.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff, man. Anthony, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, hanging out with me. You've got a new book coming out next month. Yep. If you want to go ahead and plug that, let people know where they can check out your work and actually read those blogs and stuff that we mentioned as well about fasting, where you go into a lot more detail on the blog there. So if you want to go ahead and plug your work, man, go ahead and do that now. It'd be great.
Sure. You can find me at www.anthonygobert, GUILBERT.net. TruthSeekah.com will take you to an Australian actor with the same name. The new book is Notes from the Drift. It's basically my spiritual memoirs traveling around the country, encountering Taoist ideas in an American landscape. It's been described as prose poetry. It's been described, actually, there's a lot of good quotes. You can go check it out on the website. I'm very proud of some of the people who've endorsed the book. And hey, let's do this before we go. You got people who are chatting while we're talking?
Yes.
Okay. So folks, listen up. I'll give away 3 free copies of the book. First 3 people who send their addresses to Derek, and he'll forward them to me later on. I'll send you a signed copy of the book anywhere in the United States.
You got it, guys. Go ahead and send me that address. You can inbox it to me on Facebook, email, anywhere you want. First 3 that I get, I will shoot them over. There we go.
Derek, this has been beautiful.
Hey, man, I've enjoyed it, brother. We'll have to do it again soon.
Whatever you like.
All right, man.
Take care.
Shalom. Peace. Anthony Gobert, ladies and gentlemen. You heard him. Send your address. Don't post it here in the chat. Don't post your address on the chat. Just send it to me somewhere so I can get it, and it won't be public for everyone to see, because there's some crazy people out there who listen to the TruthSeekah podcast. Trust me, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. Yeah, get it over to me. I'll send it to him. Really enjoyed this podcast, man. We got to go into some of the martial art aspect of it, and we talked about that a good bit with Matt Belair, incorporating the spirituality from the martial arts into your life and spiritual awakening. Being mindful, man. One thing to just have an awakening, but then how do you stay awake? How do you not go back to sleep? And for some reason, when I mention that, I keep seeing the Freddy Krueger movies. Don't go to sleep. Don't fall asleep. How do we stay awake? How do we not fall back to sleep? That's funny. There's somebody in the chat here. Dumbledore's Aura posted his address. It's 777 Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. That's his address. Dumbledore. The blessing that Dumbledore's here with us. I really appreciate your work. But yeah, there was fasting, man. Fasting gets really deep, and but yeah, be careful going into it. It's easy to get discouraged with the caffeine withdrawals. It hurts really bad. Home Saw says, I'm addicted to water. I think that's a good healthy addiction, but obviously you should you should have some moderation with that water as well, because people have died from overdosing on drinking water. I've heard people on job sites getting just out there working in the heat, and they drink too much water and die from it. Like, it's crazy. We had a question a while ago. Someone asked, I think it was Dumbledore as well, but how do you get over the fear of judgments from others? The fear of judgments from others, your peers judging you, friends judging you, family judging you. It can hinder a lot of people. It does hinder a lot of people. A lot of my friends aren't walking in their calling because they're afraid of what their peers will think, or what their boss will think, or what their mom will think, or their dad. And I could say that 100%, that they're not walking in their calling, and they're hindered because of the fear of man. And what did Jesus talk about? The fear of man. It's over and over the scripture says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Don't fear man." All of these things, because fear can hinder you, man, and it's definitely hindering a lot of people. Fear from the judgments of others. The fact of the matter is, people are judging you already. People are already judging you. So they're judging you if you don't do what you want to do within. They're judging you if you do it. Whatever it is, you're going to be judged. This is what people do. People make judgments. So rather get judged for doing things that make you happy versus being judged for things, for you just being docile and just going with the flow. That's what I say. Because you're being judged regardless. So that's what I say about the fear of man, and worried about the judgments of others. Don't let it stop you. There are great things ahead of you. You only have one life. You only have one shot. Like, don't let it pass you by. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're called to do, and don't let anyone look down on you with their judgments. And most of the time when those people are lashing out, it's because you represent something that they don't like within themselves. It's not about you. It's something that they have going on within themselves, and you represent that. So weird. It really is. You become a symbol of the things that they hate about themselves, or you're going for your dreams, but they're too scared to. And so when they see you walking in your calling, you walking in your dream, it reminds them that they've given up on their dream. So they lash out. You can't do that. Trust me, man. Even doing this, man, we've had family, even doing this as when I lost my job and tried to take podcasting and my music serious and take it to the next level. And being able to work from home and do this for a living. My wife's family, he needs to get a job. You need insurance, blah, blah, blah. And just all these reasons not to. And they didn't tell me, they told my wife or whatever. But anyway, she constantly heard it. And finally she had to say, look, we're doing this. Quit trying to find him jobs, and quit trying to do this and tell him about the insurance and tell him about this and that. And why are you living for insurance? Why are you living just in case you get hurt? That's weird. Why would you work a job that you hate or do a vocation that you hate just in case one day you get sick? You can pay for it. So you're living just in case. So you're going to let your dreams fade away just in case. I have to keep this job because I make more money. Look, sometimes you got to do without in order to make something happen. But I quite honestly say we haven't done without. We haven't done without. I thought that we were going to have to. I thought we were going to have to, stop eating out, or, obviously I'm more conscious of our spending and things like that now, but we haven't done without, but I'll say go for it, man. Whatever you're supposed to do, whatever you're called to do, whatever your heart's desire is that's calling you, for you not to do that I think it's a slap in the face of God, for one, that God given you these dreams, but you're too scared to fulfill them. Whatever that dream is. I mean, and this is just universal. I have friends who their dream is to preach the gospel full time. That's their dream. And seek that dream. Do it. Walk in it. Step out in faith. You only got one life. What if you get 60, 70, 80 years old and be like, man, I wish I would have tried it. I wish I would have gave it that one shot. And that's kind of what it was for me. And I stepped out, and it's working. I got the support of many people who believe in my work, who are inspired by my music, and then people who are inspired by the podcast, and it just works hand in hand. And it's beautiful, and I'm very thankful. I stay in an attitude of gratitude, man, that I'm able to do this. And I want to help other people do it, whatever their calling is, whatever they feel led to do. To step out, take that step of faith, man. Because and it always happens. I did that status the other day. It said, setbacks are a slingshot. Minor setback for a major comeback. Anytime that you're in a situation that feels like you're not going to get out of, or you feel like you're trapped, get ready. Something good is on the way. You're on the verge. Anytime there's a setback, I lost my job. We could panic, we could freak out. We took it as a sign. Took it as a sign to do this thing, try to step out full time, and it worked. It worked. It's working. Minor setback for a major comeback. Could have freaked out. Wanted to freak out. Everyone else would have freaked out. And we've been in situations where we had, but you learn not to. You have to learn that if you truly believe in God, if you truly have a creator who's watching over you, orchestrating your steps, the steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. I truly believe that. Your hands are clean and your heart is pure. You're doing the right thing. There's no such thing as time missed or time lost. Everywhere that you've been is a situation and a chance for you to learn. Every place that you're going is going to be the same thing. There's going to be people who are going to be with you. There's people who are going to be against you. You have to be the change that you want to see. If you want support, guess what you got to do? You got to support somebody. Find somebody, get with them and support them. If you want an encouraging word, guess what? Start encouraging people around you. Like, start doing the things that you want come back to you. What be not deceived. Whatsoever a man soweth, he shall also reap. Whatever you put out is going to come back. It's karma. You're going to sow what you reap. And even on top of that, we'll be out here reaping where we didn't sow. That's the favor of God. That's what it is, man. Whatever you want, you can create it. Start it. Do something today that's going to bring that into fruition. I'm going to keep saying that because I really believe it. Practical things that we can do, spiritual practices. The encounters are so beautiful, so life-changing, but it's not about the encounters. It's never a means to an end. It's not a formula. We always hear that it's not about just a formula or having it all figured out, or this is the way that it's done, and if everybody does it this way, it's going to work out. There are some things that worked for others that we're trying to do, and it doesn't work for us. We can't. We can mimic the principles, but we can't mimic the formula. We can't look and say, okay, this is what he did. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to become a whatever. You have to find out what you're called to do. And then, like we say, the two greatest days in a person's life is the day that you're born, and then the day that you find out why you're born. To know what makes your heart beat, like what encourages you, what pushes you to keep trying, what makes your heart tick, man. Do that. Whatever you got to do that, to accomplish that, to make it happen. And if you're helping people, it's going to pay off, man. It's going to pay off. I'm telling you, I believe it with all my heart. This isn't some whim. This isn't something new. I've been working my whole life to be where I am now. I've been working, and I think that's what you guys are doing too. I don't think there's any time that is lost, or any situation or place that you've been in, whether it was a relationship, whatever, a job, whatever. Like, it all adds to that person that you're becoming. There was something that was imparted to you, to your character, that you're going to need in that next level, in that next season. You're gonna need something. You're gonna need to know long suffering. Trust me. You're gonna need to know patience. You're gonna need to know virtue. And there's things in situations that we go through in our life that build to that character, that helps us maintain it. You can easily create something, but maintaining it is something else as well. People out here self-sabotaging. Can you maintain it? Part of the maintaining of it, the cultivating of it, but the maintaining is what we've been talking about today. Mindfulness. Gobert. Be mindful, stay mindful. How do I stay mindful? How do I keep it? I don't want to lose it. How do I build on top of it? And there's so many things that you can do to lose it. I mean, look at Roseanne. She lost her show that came back, and it was a hit. The Roseanne Barr show, She lost it with a tweet. How do you maintain it? There's things that you can do that will pull you out of that season. There's things that you have to get right, that God's beckoning you to do, calling you on your heart, but you're afraid of the judgments of others. You're afraid to do it. You have to do it. You're not going to get anywhere until you do it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. Go to the last thing that God told you, that last inspiration that you had. You know what it was. Told you to do it. Do it. It's been my journey. I'm just sharing my truth, what's worked for me. Guess what? It's always been breakthrough once I get over it, whether it is a fast. Some of you guys have been called to a fast. Some of you guys have been called to fast music, fast other things that are killing you, that are harmful, that are destructive in your life, relationships, to kind of step away from people who, most of us out here are like chameleons, man. We get around people and we start doing what they're doing. We start talking like they're talking. We have to be the ones to change the atmosphere. We have to be the ones who turn off autopilot, turn off default, and take advantage, man. Take advantage of the situation and bring people out of the place that they are. That's the power that we have through spirituality, through Christ, and understanding who we are. And I'm telling you, man, once you burn with passion and desire, and you find out what you're supposed to do, and you burn bright and you shine bright, men will come from all over the world to watch you burn, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Like I said, it was a level of envy there for me early on when I was, feeling like that truck that I was driving was a cage eventually, man, because I had so much more in me that I wanted to do and release, and I would try to do it at home, but I have to step out and do it. And I don't care what that person was doing. As long as they loved what they were doing, I was envious. Man, I want to do what I love doing for a living. What if I had 40 hours in a work week to put towards building a podcast? What if I had 40 hours a week to put towards my music? And these thoughts like, man, I'm building this person's dream and this person's goal for 40 hours a week. What if I had 40 hours a week to put towards what I want to do? Man, what can I get accomplished, man? I couldn't even fathom that. And it would drive me to jealousy and envy, but you have to catch that. A lot of y'all done sat into the jealousy, sat into envious. You bitter, you broken. But you have to be mindful. See, if you're mindful, you're able to catch those things. Oh man, okay, getting bitter. Okay, what can I do with this? Okay, don't let it set in. Okay, I'm getting envious. What can I do? I can do what they're doing. I can do that. I can try, at least try to do it. Because when I get to be 70, 80, I don't want to look back and say, I wish I would have tried. Do it now. Create it. Your whole life has been building up to this point. This is what you're destined to do. I'm telling you, and it's all going to be worth it. Everything, it's all going to be worth it in the end. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've been questioning, and the heartache and the trial, you've learned so much stuff. You learned what not to do. You've learned how to treat people. You've learned not to gossip about people. You've learned not to slander. You've learned to suffer with those who are suffering. As the Apostle Paul says, you've learned to become all things to all men that you might win some. And if you haven't learned these things, you're going to continue to go through the cycle, keep taking the test until you do. If you're on the road to spiritual awakening, if you have breath in your lungs, if you're watching this now, you're going to go through that. It's something that you guys resonate with, and I want to see it. Like the burden was so strong for me to do what I wanted to do for a living that I began to weep on the inside when I seen people stuck at dead-end jobs. Even before I was doing this, like to see my boss, you know what I'm saying, 60 years old, and just bitter and mad at work, just mad at the world. He didn't want to be that when he was a kid. He gave up on his dream. You see all these people just stuck in these situations, man. They gave up. Are you going to give up? Have you given up? Don't give up. Don't give up. I've literally sat on the job at a customer's store waiting for it to open to deliver parts at 7 a.m. and just cried, thinking, when do I give up on my dream? What age? Like, when do you give up? You're getting up there in age, 30 years old. When do you give up? Really, like, questioning it. I mean, when do you give up? Should I give up? Should I quit? Is it a pipe dream? You know what I'm saying? You have to be mindful. You have to really approach it. You have to ask all the questions so that, nothing goes overlooked. Is this a pipe dream? Like, can I make a living doing this? Am I gonna help people? Like, I've cried over it, and many of you guys have spent hours, sleepless nights, crying, going through that pain, going through the heartache, and you just wound up at a job. You're just there. It's been some years now. You have no idea how you got there. It's not what you want to do. You're asking for help. There's help. Learn everything that you're supposed to learn in that situation. I don't think you're there by mistake. I know you don't want to be there. I don't think you're there by mistake, but learn the lessons, what God is trying to impart to you in that season. And that could be many seasons at the same job. Learn everything that the Lord has for you. Learn it, and then start applying some of these principles. You know, we're talking about planting a seed. That planting of a seed might be sending an email. That planting of a seed might be starting an Instagram and promoting it. That planting the seed may be buying ad space on a website. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you have to do, if you believe in it, the Bible says that where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So don't tell me you believe in this or you want to do that or I'd love to do this, and you're not spending your money on it. You're not giving your attention to it. Where your treasure's your money. Where your treasure is, your heart will be also. Like I say many times, don't tell me you have a heart for children in Africa. Don't tell me you have a heart for the homeless if you've never spent any of your hard-earned money to help those people. I got friends, even one of the guys who actually led me to the Lord years ago, they have this weird mindset, and it's through the prosperity gospel that one day they're going to be millionaires. And I hope they are. I hope they do. God bless them. They hope that they're going to be millionaires one day, and then they're going to help the needy. They're going to build orphanages. They're going to feed the hungry. When they got money, they got food they throw away. There's all kind of stuff that you could do right now and feed the hungry. So don't tell me you're going to feed the hungry when you win the lottery. That's just weird. Don't tell me you're going to feed the hungry when you win the lottery if you're not feeding the hungry right now, doing what you can. That's the principle. Do something today. And the Bible says that if God can trust you with the few, the little things, God can't trust you with $50. How's he going to trust you with 50 million? God can't trust you with $50. How's he going to trust you with 5,000? You got to be faithful with the few. He'll make you ruler over more. This is a universal principle. Whether you want to take God out the equation or what, like, this is universal. You have to be a good steward with what he has already given you. Take these 2 dimes together, rub them together, make a quarter. You got to be able to make something happen, man, with what he's already given you. Use the tools that you already have. He's already given you things that you can do in your life right now. Like, don't be, you're looking for an answer. You're looking for, like, you want to ride somebody's coattail. You want somebody to put you on. Go ahead and cut that out right now. Nobody's going to put you on. If you want something, you got to make it happen. Everybody wants somebody to put them on, or I'm going to get a feature, or somebody's going to retweet my post, or whatever. Like, you want somebody to do that. Yeah, that's awesome if that happens, but don't let that be your end all, like you're waiting for somebody to put you on. I can't tell you guys, man, like, I used to do gospel rap concerts here. We throw concerts, we throw big events, and we'd get hundreds of kids to come out, man. 300 kids to come out to an event that I booked, that I put together, that I made the flyer, I promoted, and I got other bands to promote. And there would be people who just want to ride my coattail or be in my presence because I can let them open up on that concert. If there was no concert, that person wasn't around. They knew that you're making moves. You have these people who come around. They want to ride your coattail. These people are riding in your boat, but they're not helping you paddle, man. You got people who's riding in that boat with you, and they're drilling holes, hoping this mug sinks so that they can take it. Like, they want what you have. You got to understand, man. We got all these people in our lives, and we've talked about this on some of the last shows that we've done, especially the one with Jazzy. But you know, we have to build a team. We have to build a tribe of people who play not to our strengths, but even people who play to our weaknesses. Have people in your life who are good at the things that you suck at. What if we got, like, if I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a podcaster, you know, and you're going to like attracts like, those people are going to come. Adam Starseed Bay's here. Christy Lee's here. Both have radio shows. Home Sauce is here. You know, we all have radio shows or have had radio shows. You like attracts like. Those people are going to come. But if nobody knows how to run a podcast, if nobody knows how to promote a podcast, all of these podcasters or motivational speakers are showing up. Like, there's only a little we can do for each other, but find those people. That's good. I love you guys. Let's build. Let's keep building. But we need other people. Like I said, I'm going to put it out there again. I still need people to make snippets of my podcast. I don't have time. I don't like, it's really hard to do, but that's a really valuable thing that I need. But I can't do that and keep creating and then go back and edit and find snippets and schedule shows and email people and edit and write the blogs and do the graphic art, like all of that stuff. You have to find people who are good, people who can do that, or teach them. If they don't know how to do it, teach them, impart that to them, give that to them, who can play to your weaknesses. And even stuff we don't know, like publicists and all kind of this. There's a place for everybody is what I'm saying. And you have to find those people who compliment you. People who can help you, not people who are tearing you down and talking behind your back and they want what you got. Look, y'all get them out your ship. Get them out your boat. Find those people who can help you. They're out there. They need a place too. Like there's a place for everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is a body. The Bible talks about the body of Christ. And that body is an example of how we are when we come together. We formulate, literally, Christ manifested on the earth. When we come together, we are what is called the church, the body of Christ. When we come together, it says not all can be the head. Not all can be the hands. Not all can be the fingers. What if you had 10 fingers on one hand and the other hand was just, it'd be out of balance. You have to find your place, and we come together, we're able to function, we're able to move, we're able to pick things up and move it. If everything's functioning right, the wrists, the hands, the feet, the eyes, the ears, the mouthpiece, everybody, man. But we're just in this weird place, and I'm telling you, like, especially in religion, man, it is so bad. And that's one of the reasons I totally came out of Christian rap and Christian evangelism. And it's so cutthroat, man. Those people are cutthroat. If you disagree with anything that they disagree with, they'll cut your head off. Like everybody wants a platform, like, and they're cutthroat about it. Not to your face. They love you to your face, but like behind the scenes and behind your back. And it's like, man, you out here entertaining all these people who are plotting your demise, man. People who are jealous of what you got, man. And I found that in Christianity. You would think that would be the furthest thing from Christianity, that kind of stuff was going on. But that was like gossip and bitterness. Like the church is known for being gossipers. Oh, did you hear what so-and-so did? Did you hear what they believe? Did you hear what he said? Oh, this, that. You know what I'm saying? And you can get caught up in that, and it's not good. It's not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you. So watch who you're entertaining. Watch the people that you have walking with you. You want people that's going to help you succeed. You want people who's going to play to your weaknesses and even play to your strengths as well. You're going to have people around you who are going to be doing the same thing as you. Don't get like those people in churches were. They're like scared to share the platform with you, or like they're scared you're going to take their fan base and all kind of weird stuff, man, that I've put up with in church. That's just so weird to go back and think that in church that stuff was going on. Dumbledore on here says the natural world is cutthroat. Yeah, it definitely is. But I'll tell you, like, when I got out of that, I started working with other artists like the Lost Children of Babylon, LCOB, who had way bigger platforms than these church kids, these church guys. They had way bigger platform, and these people were willing to work with me and willing to put me on, and like, it was so weird, but it opened my eyes in a huge way. It opened my eyes to see that what was going on and what I was entertaining and things like that. So, go where you want it. Go where you're needed. I can't find where I'm supposed to be. I hear it all the time. I don't know where to go. Look, there's somebody needs you, man. And you need somebody. If you think you could do it all by yourself, you're going to plateau out. You're going to reach a ceiling. You can't do it all. You don't, like I said, you only got 24 hours in a day. There's only so much you can do in that day. Only so much that you can do. There's good people out there. There's people. We need each other. We are a body for a reason. Every single one of you guys. A lot of people look up to me. They need me. That's understandable. But guess what? I need you guys too. My friends, many of you who support me on here, many of you who are praying for me, who believe in me, who say encouraging words about me, who promote my podcast and tell people about the works that I'm doing. Like every little bit, I need all of it. We need each other. We need that. It's called discipleship in the Bible. So with that being said, Thursday nights, if you guys want to link in with us and what we're doing and what we're building, bunch of really cool people. It's not just me. A bunch of really cool people join me on Thursday nights at the School of the Mystics. Right now we're doing a course by Rick Joyner. It's 50 days for an enduring vision. We're doing that right now. I don't know if we're going to finish the 50. We're probably going to find something else to get into soon, but it's working right now. So we've had some really cool courses and studies that we've done together. The first one that we did was magnificent, and I'm probably going to find one very similar to that. Good stuff. We're learning how to prophesy, learning how to speak that inner intuition that a lot of us are gifted in spiritual practice, and you can hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. You can be around someone and pick up what they're going through. You know what they're going through. They don't even have to say a word to you. Just know. We're teaching you how to respond to that, how to hear that inner guidance system, that inner intuition, and how to be out even in the marketplace, being out wherever you are to be used, wherever you want to be, wherever you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful. You have to want it, right? You have to be conscious of it, aware. And we're teaching you how to do that. We're setting up a safe place that we've been doing to get into prayer and being able to do readings. We get off into groups and we do readings there. So if that sounds like something you want to do, make sure that you check out the School of the Mystics every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. Go to my website, get access there. Go to patreon.com/TruthSeekah for $1 a month. It gets you get access, you get the codes, you get my music, you get all types of cool stuff. But it's the community aspect of what we're building. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I really mean it. I know I say it all the time. I make sure I say it all the time. But it's the real deal. We need each other. I'm here for you guys. I love y'all. I really enjoyed this episode. And may the Spirit of the Lord bless you guys, man. May you guys, everything that you touch prosper. Those dreams that you have will come to pass. Like whatever, the scripture says that if the Lord builds the house, it's going to stand. But if you build it, if man builds it, it's going to crumble. So make sure that this is the spiritual practice behind it. Get with God, man. Get with your Creator. He created everything. All of this stuff that exists doesn't happen without your Creator. Get that relationship right with your Creator. Tap in, tune in, learn how to do that. Make sure your next move is your best move. Make sure you're on the right path. That's where synchronicity comes in. That's where meditation comes in. That's where prayer, that's where worship, that's where all of this stuff comes in. Make sure you're on the right path, just so you know you're headed in the right direction on that ship with those friends, with those people. Make sure you're building in the right direction, because you can build and have all these great ideas, but be working against yourself. So make sure you're going in the right direction with what you want to do. Find out whatever that is. Get with people who can help you and add to that. So with that, may the Lord bless you and keep you guys, and may you prosper in everything that you touch. In Jesus' name. Love you guys. Shalom, shalom.
Your way so much higher than mine, so much higher than mine, so much deeper than mine, so much deeper than mine.
Well, that does it for this episode, folks. To hear more episodes of the TruthSeekah podcast, head over to TruthSeekah.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/TruthSeekah.